Welcome to the third and final installment of the tutorial for the bearing bracket model. Okay, so there are two things we could do. Well, three. We have three sets of features to do before we complete this. There's a hole that goes in the top of this boss at the top, and there's a series of 4 holes in the base plate. And there should be a fillet running around the transition. I believe I'm going to finish the holes first and address that fillet last, and then we'll do one last attempt at the fillets on the outside. And if we're not able to successfully do that, we're unfortunately going to need to chalk it up as a calculation error in this version of the software, and I won't be taking points off. Again, we want to be able to describe the part in their different views. So as I have it now, those aren't critical fillets to describe the part in 2 dimensions. The fillet up here on the boss is. So, all right. So let's finish putting holes in. So the working plane, it needs to change. We're going to go to top, and I'm going to work on the hole in the boss. Now, it's a threaded hole. It appears it's a threaded hole in the original drawing, but I noticed that the original call out has been just changed to an 8 millimeter diameter hole, so that's what we're going to treat that as. But graphically, it looks like it's a threaded hole. We're going to be covering threaded holes later in the semester. So, all right, same procedure as what we've done before. We're going to take a circle, and we're going to make sure our object snap is on so we can pick up on the center of the boss. And I prefer to go to diameters, and it's 8 millimeters. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to extrude the circle we just made. And this isn't critical, it just needs to go all the way through. It's probably for a set screw, so I'm just going to drag it through the part so I can see it uh, go through into the somewhere into the cavity there. We're going to go subtract. We're going to select the solid we want to keep, and we're going to hit enter, and we're going to select the solid we want to remove, and we're left with a through hole. All right, let's go work on the bottom. Now you can actually switch to the bottom view if you want, or you can operate in the top view. It's semantics on projection, but I would prefer to look at it from the bottom of the base. We're going to turn on our object snap. We're going to make sure our object snap is on midpoint. And am I working at? We're going to go from midpoint to midpoint, and midpoint to midpoint on the base. Okay, so but make sure it's snapped to the model, otherwise your dimensions are going to be off. Okay, I'm going to switch to wireframe mode. Going to offset. It's 23 millimeters is the offset. Okay, so we're going to offset in the shorter direction both ways. And then we're going to exit offset. We're going to go back in and we're going to set the dimension at 29 and offset the other line that we created in both directions. And in shaded view, this is what we should have. So the intersections of this rectangle that we've created should be the centers of our 8mm holes. Alright, so on your object snaps, we want to make sure that we have intersection selected. I'm going to deselect midpoints so we don't accidentally get midpoints, and that should be good for now. We'll see how that works. So we'll go to circle, and we want the intersection, first intersection, and we're going to go to diameters, and our diameter is 8. And we repeat that same procedure. All right, so we have our 4 circles. Now for house cleaning, I'm just going to go ahead and extra geometry. And we're going to extrude each of the 4 holes that we're looking at here. And we want those to go through the part. Now our base flange is 11, so let's go 12. Okay, and we're going to go back and we're going to use our friendly remove object. Subtract object, so we're going to keep the main model. We're going to hit enter and we're going to select the 4 cylinders that make up the whole pattern and subtract that material. Alright, so that's all our subtractive work. Now the last feature to do that we haven't attempted is the fillet here at the top, and then we'll give a college try to do the fillets on the sides one more time before we say uncle on that. Okay, so we're going to go back to solid, and our size should be 3mm. And we select the pattern and my graphics card flips out. Enter and enter, and it looks like that at least that fillet worked properly. Let's save, and let's give one more attempt at these fillets on the outside. And again, I may have done something procedurally wrong in the beginning. If you were able to establish that when you've established the fillets that go around the base, perhaps that would have been the proper way to do that. I believe it's having trouble calculating this transition here. and this transition here near the boss. But because both sides fail, and we already have a transition here that it's having trouble blending with, we're going to fillet edge, and we are going to attempt to fillet that. And it fails. I'm getting an error code number 12026, failed to perform blending. I've been getting that error, and even on the same fillet that was one time failed, another time unsuccessful. It is finicky on order operations and selecting everything that it can fillet. When I attempt to fillet this tangency point, it fails. So I suspect it's this transition corner here. It's not able to calculate the math for it. And I apologize for not being able to show you how to do that, but I won't knock any points off for a missing fillet on that edge. But let's make sure that we try to describe everything in the drawing properly. The purpose of using AutoCAD in this context for this class is to learn drafting, not specifically accurate models. So your end grade for the drawing is going to be based off on how well you apply the drawing standards and have reflected the part so that it can be made. All right, so the only last thing is for house cleaning, I would get rid of my original construction geometry so that it's not something we're going to have interfering with our view placement, views and such. There's other ways to handle this. You could put it all on another layer, but when it comes to models, I tend to like to have the model clean when it's all done. So your model should look something like this, and besides the fillets, I am going to be looking at dimensional accuracy of your model and making sure that it's complete and everything's there. I did not attempt to do the fillet here. I think in reality that would be a partial fillet, because this part is the model of it after a casting has been machined. So if you're able to wrap that fillet, then good job. Kudos to you. All right, that's it for this tutorial, and we'll catch you on the next one and see you online.